Hi, Professor. I'm sorry, but I have to record like this because I can't switch the camera from front to back, I guess. But it's Ariana. Hello. So, my lesson was going to be on introductions and the to be verb. So, the objectives of my lesson was to get students familiar with authentic language. That included introducing themselves and use of simple conversation phrases, such as, "Hi, my name is," and "I'm good, how are you?" And this would work into the to be verb and question answer format. So, my name is, your name is, or how are you, how are they, using the to be verb form depending on the noun. So the first part of the lesson was going to be a review on the to be verb. I planned for that to be 10 to 15 minutes long. And I also wanted to include a worksheet follow-up, and that'll be following every lesson that I review with the students. So for this lesson, I wanted to work on the verbs, the basic form: I am, she is, he is, it is, you are, they are, we are, and the conjugated form of that. And again, this would work itself later on into the question answer format, the other activities such as the interview, and of course the worksheet that was going to follow. So after the to be verb lesson, I wanted to go into the question answer format and how they would work that into answering a question with a positive answer and with a negative answer. So, for example, is she hungry? No, she is not hungry. Yes, she is hungry. And then again, the conjugation in the responses. So, is she hungry? No, she isn't. And yes, she is, with the apostrophe. So for my activities, the first, I was planning for it to take at least 15 minutes, of course, depending on the class size. So I wanted to start with introducing myself. And when using the word my, that, pointing to myself, using gestures, what is your name, and pointing to the students, letting them know, like, it's my cue and your cue. So it would begin, "Hello, my name is Ariana. What is your name?" And then each student would introduce themselves, followed by the introductions. I wanted to do a name telephone, where the first student says their name. "My name is John." Next student would be following by saying, "His name is John. My name is Alex." And third student would say, "His name is John, her name is Alex, my name is Sue," and so on and so forth until the last student has to say everybody's name, which hopefully they have really good memory. The second activity I wanted to go into was having students partner up and interview each other. And prior to the interview, I wanted to explain what exactly I wanted them to do. I was going to give them a list of questions, which I'll show later in the presentation. And of course, I wanted to provide an example that I did at home with my sister, actually. But yeah, so students are going to partner up, ask each other questions, and then answer the questions in sentence format. Again, they'd work in the to be verb and the question answer format of positive answers, negative answers. So, for example, this is John. He has 2 sisters and a brother. John likes to play baseball and go to the movies on his free time. John does not have a dog. Something like that. This is the verb worksheet that would follow the verb lesson. And it's very simple. It actually goes hand in hand with the lesson, so I thought that would be helpful for the students. So again, I want to correspond activities with the lessons. So the verb worksheet goes with the verb lesson. This would go after the question lesson, and again, it still goes hand in hand with the to be verb. So what is his or her name? Does he or she have any brothers or sisters? Does he or she have any pets? And so forth. So as far as language domains, listening, aside from the lesson itself, I want to give many examples, and listening to the examples will definitely benefit the students for learning the material and just understanding the lesson in general, and also will help them in the activities that I plan. Speaking, students will initially introduce themselves at the beginning of the class, as I said, saying their name, and then going around with the telephone, name telephone, and then of course working into the interview. I plan for each student to stand up and read the responses to their questions about their partners. So again, speaking the language will allow students to become more comfortable with communicating in it. And then writing, not only will they be writing out the answers on the worksheet, but again, answering the questions, using the to be verb, and recognizing patterns and the format of the verb. So the discussion of students, I would hope that this would be ideal for young kids and even adults. I think that it would be appropriate for beginner ELL students. I said a level 1 or 2. I would want the goals of the students to be able to conjugate the to be verb and correspond the verb with the correct format of the noun, and as you know, answering the questions in the negative or positive responses using the verb. To conclude the class, I wanted to ask students how they felt about the activity. Was it fun? What was difficult? And if they were familiar with anything. I also wanted to encourage questions to be asked if anyone was confused about material or, of course, had any further questions. As far as assessment, I didn't really think of anything too formal, but I figured that a fun way to get students, to participate and really express what they understand was to ask each student to say something that they learned or found interesting, liked about the class. And then, as I wrote, it will reflect the general interest of each student, and it'll show the instructor how effective the lesson was. So, yeah, that's the end of my presentation.